Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's that time of year again. Electric Forest lineup's back out. I am so excited, especially because this year it seems like all my rave fams trying to go, so it seems like we're full sending it. I for sure am. Me and my girlfriend are. Too many people on this lineup for me and her. This lineup, to me personally, I know there's a lot of mixed opinions on it, but to me personally, this has a lot of artists that I want to see. And like, it looks like just like my Apple Music replay or my Spotify replay, whatever it's called on Spotify. I'm an Apple Music guy. If you're a Spotify guy, no judgment. But moving on, let's get into this lineup. I don't really want to waste any time. I know I haven't been making too many videos in a while, but we're planning on getting back into the swing of things. We got lots of shows coming up, lots of festivals, lots of things to review. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so as always, I'm probably not gonna know every single artist on this lineup. If there is any artist that I didn't mention at all, please recommend something to me. If I don't know, I love checking out new artists. I try my best to study up a little bit on the lineup before starting these videos, so I have a little bit of a general idea of some of the artists I do and don't know. But let's get straight into it with Thursday. Everything Always. If you don't know, that's Dom Dolla and John Summit. At least it does specify it under right there. And then it has Nelly Furtado. I've heard some rumors. I'm not sure if they're true or not. Obviously, the lineup just released today. But I've heard that she maybe only signed the contract to only come on with one song for Everything Always, which would most likely be Eat Your Man with Dom Dolla and Nelly Furtado. I'm not sure if she's having her own solo performance or not, but we'll see what the plan is there. Regardless if she performs for one or if she does a whole performance, it would be dope regardless. She's iconic. Moving on, we have the Disco Biscuits, one of the first live bands we have, and for some of the OG Forest goers, there's that's what everyone kind of looks for, is a little bit of EDM, a little bit of live band action. And there's been some complaints last year, and I know there's a lot of controversy about the lineup this year, but I'm personally not one of those type of people that is there for the live bands. And I can agree, it feels like that there isn't as many, I think when I went 2 years ago, and I feel like even before, there were more string cheese incidents. I just feel like there was a little more live band action, but they still do have, it seems like, a lot of vocalists on here, a lot of producers that are going to be doing live sets. So, I feel like they're doing a little bit of mix of everything. But moving on, we have Ben Bomber. Not really my type of music, but, still a good melodic house kind of vibe, I guess you could say. Tech house kind of, but definitely more on the melodic house type of vibe. Following up, we have Knock 2 to finish off Thursday. This is a 4-day festival. I think I said Friday. I don't know if I said Thursday. But this is a 4-day festival, maybe even a 5 or a 6. We went 2 years ago. We went on Tuesday and went all the way to Sunday. So that was a full-on 6 days. And yeah, that was no joke. Absolutely killed us. We drove from Los Angeles all the way to Michigan. We made several stops and so many detours. It was a bunch of madness. So we're kind of probably going to do something differently now that I think about it. I haven't even thought about what our travel plans are going to be, but it's most likely going to be different. I don't know if we're going to do a whole road trip again, but we're sidetracking. Knock 2. If you guys don't know Knock 2, he has probably one of the most famous bass house songs of all time at the moment with Dash Star. I don't even need to, everyone knows it. It's all over TikTok and Instagram, but he also has a lot of other fantastic music, and personally, I love that he's a good live DJ and he knows how to scratch. If you see some of his videos, he's actually got it down. He can scratch some good house music. He's definitely got some skills. So check him out if you don't just know him for Dash Star. Definitely a good artist. But let's move into Friday now. Moving into Friday. A little bit of an interesting headliners here on Friday. We got Pretty Lights. The funny thing about Pretty Lights is I personally didn't know who they were, and then I looked up their music and I was like, oh my god, yes I do. I just didn't know the name of the artist. So it's probably the same for you. If you don't know or recognize the name, you've 100% heard the songs before. They have some absolutely monumental songs in their discography. But this one, Ludacris, I don't know exactly. I looked through the list. There are definitely some rappers and definitely some producers that work with rappers, so I see they're trying to move in that direction a little bit. When I went, they had some artists from Dreamville Records on there, so I see it, but it's an interesting one. I don't know, that's all I have to say. Nothing wrong with Ludacris, but I wouldn't expect to see him, and I probably won't be seeing him Probably won't be in my set list, but it's all good. Moving on, we have BTSM. A lot of people say, you know, that these type of, you know, weird dubstep names like Excision we'll see on Sunday, BTSM. I think Sudden Death was here at eForce last year. I'm not entirely sure if I'm remembering that correctly. But I just hear a lot of mixed opinions about people hating on that and saying that that doesn't belong here. But I feel like this Electric Force is moving in a lot of a different direction than they were 10, 15 years ago. And, you know, that's kind of what the mainstream is right now, is that dubstep, that tech house. And that's why you'll see more down the line. That's kind of going to be the main theme of this festival. But not much to talk about on Friday. Obviously, Black Tiger's BTSM. I'm not going to say that full name out loud. But obviously, BTSM, fantastic. Who doesn't love to go to church? And I'm not going to miss that set, depending, hopefully nothing crazy goes on in between then. Most likely won't. But let's move on to Saturday, which is what we got a lot to talk about. All right, so Saturday, we got Subtronics, John Summit, and Siren. Let's talk about Subtronics and John Summit first. I feel like it's obvious that they're going to do another back-to-back. That's just kind of the thing they do. It started at Electric Forest 2 years ago as a Renegade, and it's just started, you know, snowballing from there. And I feel like it's not only that, but it's created these like crazy back-to-backs that are just, everything's happening now. And I feel like there's no way they don't do Subtronics back-to-back John Summit again. It'll be interesting to see what they do at EDC. They actually had like an actual planned out, maybe a 20 or so minutes where they had, you know, actual time to put together some remixes of each other's songs and stuff and prepare a little set. At Electric Forest 2 years ago, it was just like a Renegade RV set. And then at Lost Lands, they also had a little bit of a 20 or 30 minute set prepared. So we'll see if they do the same thing this weekend. If not, I would personally prefer a singular Subtronic set and a singular John Summit set. I've already seen the back-to-back about 3 or 4 times. Nothing wrong with it, but I would just like to see some solo sets from the both of them. Moving on, we have Siren. And for you Wubs lovers, including myself, this set is going to be insane. I already know it's going to conflict with one of the 3 headliners, so I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be a good set. I went to LS Dream 2 years ago, all the way up to the front rail for those visuals, and I had just such a fantastic time. Obviously didn't go like hard as fuck, but just had a blast with my friends, and you know, it's all that matters really at Forest. The thing about Forest is, you know, it's not always about the lineup. It's about the vibes too. It's about the festival itself. And if you guys don't know, that festival is just something else. I went 2 years ago, and I went once. My friend's gone twice, and he can also agree that he still hasn't even seen the whole festival yet. There are so many little scavenger hunts and secret places here and people to talk to that will lead you to other places, and just so many little places of interest. It's just, that festival to me is one of my favorites. Lost Lands is a very, very close one up there, but I like that Electric Forest has a little bit of variety. If you don't just want dubstep, you can go to a little bit of house, you can go to some techno, you can even listen to some live bands if you like some hip-hop or some soul, whatever. You can find anything, and you can explore the whole forest and still not be done exploring the forest next time you go. There's still so much more to see, and they're always improving or changing things. So if you're going to Forest, don't just go for the lineup. Just put that in mind. It's definitely worth the experience. I know people have been complaining about the prices lately and stuff, whereas I just feel like, you know, there are some crazy expensive festivals. Obviously international ones we're not going to talk about, but if we're just talking about in the United States, Lost Lands can get up there if we're talking about doing a camping pass and the festival. EDC can get very expensive if we're doing a festival and a camping pass. So Electric Forest having the ticket and the camping pass already come together, it's kind of, you know, I wouldn't say it evens out. It's more on the expensive side, don't get me wrong, but you know, you spend your money how you want to. I'm not going to judge. Don't judge me. Moving on. All right, moving on to Sunday. An interesting headliner for Sunday. I would have personally put him a little bit earlier, but Excision on Sunday to finish it off. I don't know if he's going to do a little bit of a Wubsy set now, or if he's just going to do, you know, typical Excision set, some hard dubstep. But he has been dabbling into a little bit of the Excision back-to-back Liquid Stranger, a little bit of a Detox set vibe. I don't know. We'll see. Should be interesting, though. Moving on, Charlotte DeWitt. Kind of the first, like, actual techno act that has come up here. Ben Bomber can, you know, kind of explore into that. I guess Dom Dalla and John Summit can throw down a little bit of techno, but they're mainly house music. So this is the first real techno act we got. Super excited for Charlotte. That's going to be a good set. Again, there's going to be a lot of conflicts for me, so I really hope I can at least do a little bit of here, a little bit of there. I don't know. I got a burp. Excuse me. Moving on, we have Gigantic Nightmare. If you don't know, it's Big Gigantic back-to-back Nightmare. I still haven't seen this set before. I've heard so many good things. It was at EDC this past year and I missed it, or 2 years ago, excuse me. And yeah, I definitely still need to see it. Haven't gotten around to it. So many conflicts. Fingers crossed we can see it. Most likely not, though. Humphreys McGee, another live band. Honestly, haven't listened to their music before, but I gave it a listen, and if you're into live music, good instruments, good vocals, you should definitely check it out. But that's the headliners. We did it. We're going to move into the undercards, and believe it or not, I am more excited for the undercards than I am the headliners, because these undercards are serious. So let's just jump right into it. The String Cheese Incident is also one of the headliners. I didn't mention them. I mentioned them very in the beginning. They are a live band as well. Kind of like the staple of Electric Fourth. They're always there. They have a super big performance on, I think, Saturday. It'll most likely be their second performance. I recommend checking them out if you have no other artists conflicting, but don't get me wrong, it's not really, if you're an EDM fan or if you're a hip hop and rap fan, it's definitely not your type of music, but it's a great vibe, great atmosphere, super, super dope people there. It's super cool to go around the crowd and talk to some people and just exchange stories. But yeah, now Undercard. We have AT-Aliens. This, like I said, this dubstep house theme is going to be a little more common, and I'm excited for AT-Aliens. I've been seeing them a lot lately. At Lost Lands, I actually got in the mosh pit with one of the AT-Aliens. It was legendary. That shit was so dope. This last year's Lost Lands was amazing. If you haven't checked out those vlogs, definitely check them out. I'll put it, I think it goes up here. If not, it's up there. Check it out. Definitely check out that video after this one, because the Lost Lands vlogs were something else. I still haven't posted the day 3. I know I've been super busy with just life. My girlfriend just moved into my house. We got, you know, new animals, a new fish tank, a new job, new this, whole bunch of stuff, but we're back and better than ever. So we're ready. That's completely side noting for people that are new to this channel, but if you've been here before, you know I haven't been posting in a minute. All right, moving on. I don't know all of these artists on the undercard. I looked up some of them here and there, but I'm having trouble exactly remembering. We're just gonna kind of go through the ones I do know and the ones I'm a little bit excited for. So we have AT-Aliens, like I said, it's gonna be dubstep, great time. We have Chasing Status, or Chasing Status, I think it's actually pronounced. Fantastic drum and bass act. If you are into electric music, I'm honestly sure you saw that Boiler Room set go viral, because it was going all over my feed and it was popping off. Moving on to the acts I'm excited for, we have Green Velvet, a great house act. You've probably seen him go back to back a lot with Dom Dalla and John Summit. He's definitely huge established name in the game, and he's been doing it for a while, so definitely want to check him out too. Kenny Beats as well, a huge producer I've been listening to since I was a kid, but I don't see myself going to see him personally live. But if you're into, you know, that hip-hop rap kind of producer vibe, I would definitely check him out. I think his beats are amazing. Moving on, we have, let's see, LPGOB. Oof, I'm so excited for this one. If you guys don't know LP, she does kind of like some house music, definitely not like some hypey house, I would say a little more melodic, super vibey tunes, plays some live piano while she's performing her set. Absolutely amazing, super talented. 2 years ago when we saw her at Forest, it went just a little bit of a drizzle happened, just a tiny bit of rain, nothing to complain about, but it was just the perfect vibe. Her playing some piano in the rain, it was just chef's kiss. Moving on, we got some more house acts. We got Matroda and Mal P. Super excited for the two of them. If you don't know, Mal P's obviously the dude who has the Drugs from Amsterdam song, yet another super banger song, just like Knock 2 with his Dash Star. Those are the ones that just, you know, transcended their names. But don't sleep on them. They still have some fantastic songs under their belt, aside from, you know, the ones that got them viral. Let's see, following that, I'm not really excited for anyone else on this list other than Wooly, big dubstep name. He performed fantastically at Lost Lands this year, and that was probably one of the best Wooly sets I have ever seen. I've seen him 10 plus times, and that shit was top tier Wooly. So definitely need to check him out again. I apologize if there were some names I mentioned or did not mention, excuse me. I know Neil Francis is a big name, Vinovici also as well. If you like some psytrance, definitely check them out. Dimension, I think, is some drum and bass. I'm just trying to remember all my notes in my head that I was trying to remember. But if you know there was someone I didn't mention, definitely, send them my way. Give me a recommendation. I will 100% check them out and let you know. All right, moving into the undercard, which to me is crazy that this is like the bottom. It doesn't even make sense. There's still so many great artists. And the fact that this is just phase one, there's still so many more phases to come, so many more artists to be announced. This is going to be an exciting festival for me. We have A-Craze, big house name again, about during kind of like the pandemic, right towards the end of 2021, he had that Do It To It remix. Big one again. These artists, it's so funny. You see that one song, it just absolutely blows them the hell up, and then they're coming on all these festival lineups all of a sudden. But man, I've been listening to some of these guys since like 2018, 2019 from their Bass Rush records, and it's great to see them blow up. It's super exciting. Speaking of blowing up, we have Alley Cat. If you don't know her, she's one of those girls on TikTok that makes her own beats and kind of shows how she makes her beats on TikTok while doing it, and she has blown up in the dubstep scene. She has been she's already been in the dubstep scene before. She's already had songs with Sullivan King as a vocalist, and I'm sure other collabs that I can't think of at the moment, but she rebranded herself as Alley Cat and started actually producing and DJing herself, and she's been killing it lately. Definitely I don't know how to explain her dubstep, but it's definitely kind of like wubsy, but not wubsy at all. It's definitely hard, but it just has a little bit of a weird groovy sound to it. I can't explain it. Definitely check her out. She's a good vibe. Moving on, we have Abo, another name in the game that's kind of on the come up. Huge house for me. I love him so much. I love all of his music. Definitely want to check him out. I've only seen him live once, and definitely would hope to be able to see him again. All right, moving on. Artist I'm excited for. I haven't checked out Dixon's Violin. I've heard so much about him several times. Got a mosquito in my room. He's a live violinist, definitely fantastic music. I need to check him out at some point, just haven't gotten around to it. Same thing with Hamdi. If you've been going to music festivals at all lately, you've most likely heard Hamdi's music. He's kind of like, I think it's like UK based. I don't remember the exact genre it is, but he definitely has some unique sound that you're not hearing everywhere else in the States. It's definitely more common to be heard in Europe, and it's fantastic. He's definitely a gifted producer, DJ, performer, the whole 9 yards. Moving on, for you Wubs lovers again, we got Enzo. I probably won't be seeing him myself, unfortunately, just due to so many conflicts. I probably won't have time to. But I've only seen him at Bass Canyon, and I got to spend a good 20 or 30 minutes just chilling out, vibing, sitting down, and it's fantastic. If you just need somewhere to sit down and relax, especially depending on what stage he'll be at, that's going to be top tier. All right, following that, we have Level Up, finally moving into some more dubstep. I'm not expecting a whole big amount of dubstep for this festival, but it's great to see, just a little bit slivered in here and there, because I definitely need a little bit of bass to keep me up. And, I was looking for a little more techno, and I only see, maybe like 2 or 3 artists on my mind that I'm kind of like looking at that I'm excited to see. Speaking of, we'll jump down to him real quick, because I think that's kind of the main artist that I'm looking for towards the end, which is Will Clark. Great techno, haven't seen him live before, but he's definitely on my list. Now we're going to kind of zoom back up to the top. We got West End, Vanessa Back-to-Back Nala, both, good bass house, tech house vibes. Don't really know how to explain it more than that, but super fantastic. Sultan and Shepherd, kind of like melodic house, a little bit of I wouldn't say synth pop. Would I say that? I guess I could say that a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong. A little bit of synth pop, melodic house vibes. Not really my type of music, but I definitely have a few songs in my playlist of theirs. Peachtree Rascals, definitely for all the girlies, all those indie pop girlies, that's definitely their type of music. Like I said, I'll admit it, I've still got a few of their songs in my playlist too, but fantastic live band. Definitely check them out as well if you haven't and you are a fan of that kind of, good instrumental music with some good vocals. Just that, what is it? I'm trying to think. I guess it is called indie pop. I'm so terrible at genres sometimes. I try my best, y'all. I apologize. But I personally think that's all the artists that, I was really looking to highlight for this festival and just kind of give you my point of view of the festival itself. It's up there, one of my favorites, definitely top 3 on my list, and I'm super excited to be going back. I think the vibes, the people there, the festival, the lineup's always good. Definitely go if you haven't. If it's not this year, go another year, because Forest is definitely one of the ones you got to knock off the bucket list. But I think that's going to do it today. I'm super excited to be back making videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out, y'all.